Hello, hello. Happy Thursday, May 14th, 2026. How is everybody? It is early day. I am. I guess we got a couple people in the chat. All right. I was gonna say it seems like I'm gonna be talking to myself today, but that's all right. We have yep, Russell. I would like a do-over of today, please. It is what it is. Let's see. The notice just arrived. Okay. Soda Pop should be here on Monday. I am told via UPS that the Sailor Pen of the Year 2022 will be here on Monday. So we had some logistical problems. Those have been worked out, so our future shipments will get here in a much quicker manner. But looking forward to that. There are new Shikiori inks in the lineup. They will also be here on Monday, so stay tuned for that. I had my TWSBI order that was supposed to be here the other day that was actually in Oshkosh, which is about 35-40 minutes just south of here. Apparently rerouted itself to Nevada. So that's coming on Monday. What did I do or not do today? Well, what has got me in a funk now is I sold a nice pen this afternoon. $1,000 pen. It's a shame. It was a fraudulent order. And I use a fraud prevention software in addition to fraud prevention settings on my processor, and it passed everything. When I started looking into it, I said, this just isn't right. And then I discovered that my fraud prevention software is no longer doing something they used to do, which was notify me when they fail an order. So yesterday I shipped out a Sheaffer Legacy to what is clearly, now that I look at it and see it, it's clearly a fraudulent order. So I'm going to lose a $250 Legacy to fraud. So I was doing very well in 6 months, not having a single fraudulent order get through, and I totally spaced it yesterday. And that pen is gone. So you got a package from Florida, get to New Jersey, and decided to take the vacation route to Arizona for the first weekend. Yeah. Hello, Gabriel. How are you? Yeah. So I'm aggravated by that. You know, the software used to have that feature. If a negative reaction, i.e. fail, then if X, then Y. So it used to do that. It would say, okay, well, it would change the order status from awaiting fulfillment to manual verification. So you know, when it shows up, it's pink. You can't miss it. But now they have this stupid thing that it goes the other way. So if pass, if positive reaction, then Y. Well, if it's positive reaction, I don't need it to do anything. So my choices are either to change the positive reaction to something other than what the normal is, so that but that doesn't work either, because I don't know. You software guys and you IT guys will understand the frustration. If it's a negative reaction, I need to know. And why they took that feature away, beyond me. The only option there really is cancel and refund. But that's not a great option, I don't think. I want to be notified, and I want to be in charge of refunding the card or voiding the transaction. So, anyway. That's my mini rant for the day. I'm not in a... It's really put me in a funk. Because I was like, oh, awesome. $1,000 sale. It was a consignment pen. Really happy. My customer's going to be happy. My client's going to be happy. Everybody's going to be happy. Nobody's happy. Not a single person is happy. So, anyway. All right. They probably upgraded the program to a premium price that included that feature. No, see, the weird thing is so the program actually merged with another company, and then they changed the name. And so even trying to remember what the name of the company is difficult, because it's it doesn't even have fraud in the name. So I mean, I can't even think of it off the top of my head. I have to go look and then figure it out. I mean, they actually do things like, hey, Jason, they do things like they will call the customer, and they will do that. But, I don't want to have a separate dashboard open. Good afternoon, David. To have to look at all the orders every day. It's I just don't like it when people steal from me. Don't like that. Excited to watch me repair some pets? Well, why don't we just do that? Why don't we do that instead of listening to me bitch and moan about fraudulent orders? Sorry. I got to get it off my chest. What do we got today? Yeah, David, after I talked, I discovered that I had a fraudulent order yesterday. Didn't notice it. The software didn't tell me it was fraudulent. I shipped it. It was a Sheaffer Legacy. Dang it. I thought for a second I had it in today's mail, but no, it was yesterday's. Here's what we got today. We're going to put these guys together. We got 2 touchdowns. We got oversized Sheaffer flat top and jade. We got this beautiful guy. Oversized balance in jade. Nice color. And then we got this 530. We're going to put those guys together. We're going to struggle one more day with that Century, and then I'm going to see what we need to do about that. We'll see if we can get this open. Oh. Well, there's I put water in it, and the water came out, so we'll see what that does for us. Okay. All right. Let's put these together. Guess I don't really need... Excuse me. Don't really need talc, do I? Just out of curiosity. No. This is very loose. I wonder if I can crimp that. Oh, man. All right. Yeah, I tried the one from the other pen. I I swear it fit when I took it off. Green. I guess it is Green Pen Day, isn't it? Smash the end out. Yeah, I tried that too. Probably didn't do it enough, but I was worried it wasn't going to fit in the barrel. Hmm. Well, I guess we'll try that. That's the old pencil trick too. It's loose, make it out around. cooking for everybody else today. Week is winding down. Tomorrow's Lisa's last Friday at work for 2.5 months. See, now yesterday, this feed was yeah, that one went back together. That's nice. This feed was sitting nice yesterday, and now today it is not sitting good at all. These feeds are so thick that heating them is really a challenge. Move the podcast to Thursdays and make Fridays do nothing and have fun days. That's not a terrible idea, actually. Except she's still got to work Thursday, so if we did the podcast, it would have to be done at like 4:30 in the afternoon, or we'd have to do it on our lunch, which is about 11. Well, come on. We could do the podcast before work on Thursdays. Uh, um, you know how much you like to get up early? That would be a severe challenge, I think, for everybody in my family. We'd have to do it at like 6 o'clock. We could see Brian in his smoking jacket. Yeah, I mean, you know. I mean, getting my daughter here would be like the biggest challenge. Well, the speed does not want to cooperate. When I heat it up, it wants to move in the right place. Let's see if that stays. We've actually got it planned to do there will be a podcast on a Thursday afternoon in the end of August. My daughter is going to be gone on a Friday, so she can't do the filming for us, and I elected to not have her pre-record it because then it's a lot of extra work as opposed to just doing it live. So we're going to do it on our lunch, which is not always guaranteed it's going to be a 45-minute lunch. All right. Because sometimes Lisa gets off late. If there's a late patient, sometimes she's got to leave early if there's an early patient. So it's doesn't always work out. But we'll see. All right. All right, let's try these and see what happens. It'll work, yeah. We'll figure it out. I can't not have a podcast, so. All right, first up, we got a broad nib on this touchdown. Thank you to David for finding it. Oh, yeah. What's that? Oh, did they come? No. You don't think they're coming today? There we go.
What are we inking?
A broad nib Sheaffer touchdown.
Broad nib. Hey, everybody. Move the podcast to Thursdays. Hello.
Yeah, the suggestion was to move the podcast to Thursdays once you no longer have a Friday, because then we wouldn't have to be here on Friday.
Well, you'd still make us come in and ship. But
I would still make you come in and ship.
just in time for Lisa. Hello. I came to get coffee. I have to go back to work now.
We do, yeah, sort of. What was abandoned? I'll see you later. I have that sailor bottle with the dad jokes host an episode like Eric used to do sometimes. That's a tricky one. Those assets were essentially abandoned, so I guess I still own them. What I didn't realize about Ink Bottle Dude, I didn't for a long time. I didn't realize this. Um, my video guy, I thought the video guy was changing it based on the joke. Well, apparently it's the same video. It just he talks the joke over it. With the technology available today, having a live character like that would be pretty easy. Yeah, what do they call it? You can get people have them on Twitch all the time. My daughter has one. Um, I would do something other than it was an Ink Studio color. Yeah, a VTuber. Yeah. That's what it is. I looked into that. Maybe Sailor Manual. Mysterious Blue, yeah. Actually, I think my daughter can probably make one of those. Oh, yeah. Get the Cardinal to work. Get a pair of them. Now we're talking. That's one of those projects in my spare time. Hello. Oh, nice. Thank you. Great. Well, this is a nice writing nib. Medium-ish. Probably write a little bit finer. It looked like a nice nib among what was in your parchment. Yeah. I thought maybe it might have some flex, but no. These would be good candidates for photography next week. Yeah, this is the repair bin specials today. Everything in here was assembled from parts in my repair bin. I'm sorry you didn't find anything that was worthy for you. I know I don't have much in the way of parts. Feels great. Well, yeah, you did get that wasp battle point. That's correct. The Frankenbin collection. I mean, sort of, right? No Frankenpins, though. Yeah, all correct. You're not happy about that. Boy, is that an extra fine. Holy, they just keep getting finer and finer here. Holy smokes. Where's Indy? Indy when we need her. Look at the difference there. Will that extra fine end up on your website? Yes, it will. Or you can email me and we can bypass that whole procedure. If you're interested, I'll show it to you in more detail here in a second once I get it flushed out. Well, it holds a ton of ink. Holy smoke. With that extra fine nib, this thing is going to write for days. Non-stop. That's insane. For some reason, a lot of people love super fine nibs on a big pen. Here it is, Ron. You know, some discoloration. It's fairly even. A little worse on the barrel than on the cap, as normal, but it's even. I kind of like this almost marbling. No cracks. That screws on nice. It looked nice when you rescued it from the parts bin. Not the best color. Yeah, perfect as a user. It's actually not. I mean, you know, post nice. I mean, I've certainly seen uglier brown. I really quite like this. This dark is actually quite attractive. The way this swirls. Goes together. The clip looks nice. Trim is decent. Yeah, I mean, it's a good user for sure. Ron, if you're interested, send me an email. Hello at, you got it right up there. Can ship it out tomorrow. Oh, this feed, what? So I heated this. And this feed goes snugged up to the nib, and then I stuck it in water right away, and now it's offset from the nib again. And I've had that happen on other, but it's such a thick feed. I mean, look how thick that is. Trying to get the whole thing heated up. Do I have some hot water? Not handy. I was trying to heat it with the heat gun, but I don't want to burn it. I have some hot coffee. I do have some hot coffee, yeah. You're not joking. That's a safer way? Hot water be a safer way to heat the whole thing up? I could microwave a cup of water. I could do that. Why don't I do that? Let's hang on. Let me go do that. I'll be right back. All right. I got some water in the microwave. I'm gonna get some coffee here. I got it in for a minute and a half while we're waiting for that. Hot enough to burn me, but not boiling. Okay. Well, that's nice. So 5:30, right? Yeah, 5:30. Hey, Mike. Raiding with the party of 28. Very nice. Welcome. How's everybody in the Inkdependence world cooking today? Boy, that's a nice pen. A little bit of discoloration. Dustin, hello. Wow, that's fantastic. That nib is really, 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 really great. Quack, quack. Audrey said you never heard of the Sailor Gentle Gray either. Yeah, no, I hadn't seen it. That was a new one to me. .530C medium. Something. Medium. Apparently existed. Wow. Yeah. I wonder if it was close to any of the Manios or Ink Studios or something. I mean, gray's not maybe a super popular color, I would imagine. You could look at some Japanese magazines you have. I wonder how long ago it was. I mean, it had to been. I mean, if it was gentle, at least 12, 15 plus years ago, right? I mean, they never had a gray in the lineup. I mean, maybe I'll have to look through the grays I have in the Rolodex, but you don't remember it, so it's probably old. Yeah. And it has a gold foil label. Yeah. What is it? Is it a white box? Probably the old white box. Hang on, I'll be right back. Water needs a little bit more. I didn't quite burn myself on it yet. Oh, you don't have the box, just the bottle. It's not the huge ink issue of the Japanese pen magazine from 10 years ago. Oh, yeah, I have that one. Or I have that magazine. That's an amazing magazine, isn't it? Oh, okay. Yeah, we went nuts one time and we bought them. I forget where we got them. But I got a stack of them. It's like, um, when they tested all the inks and did all these cool ink tests on them, and then they had writing samples, and they were very, very interesting. Yeah, you are to blame. Actually, that's correct. Yes, you are to blame after you showed us the one in DC or Baltimore, because I remember, we spent hundreds, and got these magazines. And like we were going to get a subscription to it, and I thought, well, that's maybe a little silly, but I don't know. All right, let's see if this works. This is my appropriate coffee mug. It's pretty hot. What's a sufficient amount of time? 30 seconds? I mean, I can feel the heat on my face from this water. Oh, yeah, and then that's what it says on the inside. You got a jet. All right, Mike. Thanks so much. See you later. I don't remember where I got this mug. I don't know if somebody gave it to me or Lisa found it. Lisa found it at a store. I used to get people to bring me joke books and stuff like that at pen shows. It was kind of fun. I'm going to heat it up a little more. Another 2 minutes should probably do it. Well, the rest of them turned out all right. That's quite a nice writer. That one too. Hey, Spicy. My strong steel back is ready to repair pens again. Yeah. Ready to do something. After it's heated, you need to press the feed against the nib. Right, yeah, and hold it there to set it until it's cool. I often hold it against the rim of the cup to hold the feed against the nib. Yeah, I was trying to get it on the bench here, but you can't see it. If we hear a loud boom, then we know it got too hot and the microwave exploded. I think this happened on that oversized secretary, too. I just couldn't get the feed to go. Tomorrow there's an open day market. You're hoping to find some vintage pens? Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed, huh? I don't know what's in our plans for the weekend. Probably nothing. We don't really have that many antique malls around here anymore. You took out 300 euros in cash to be ready. You are ready, man. Holy smokes. All right, let's see what we got. Yeah, that's hot enough. I can't even hold on to it. Shit, that's hot. Yeah, it's hot enough. It's. I'm gonna do it on the outside. Yeah, it's so hot I can't get my finger against it. Dip it in some cold water, that'll chill it off. Yeah, I'll find some good things, man. Look for cracks, breaks, messed up nib. Loop is your best friend. Yeah, absolutely. Unless you have really good eyes. Somebody tried to scam you last time. He didn't want you to check the pen. Not always necessarily a red flag, I wouldn't say. Some people just don't want people messing with their stuff, you know. Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's so hot I can't even. I'm just gonna put that over there to cool off. A 138 long window. That would be nice. Well, after this, we're going to be working on a little old Montblanc. This is going to be another one of these oversized with an extra fine nib, I suspect. This nib looks really very fine. Lego made a kit. You could build a Montblanc 194. Firm. But that works. That works. You just received a draft of the seminar scheduled for the DC show. They're giving the Victorian Pencil Seminar again on Friday. Would be nice to see the whole thing again. And because I missed the end of it. Put that on your calendars. If you want to hear you drone on about vanishing points, you'll do that there too. Yeah. Yeah, I probably would do that. What do you mean he was super aggressive and vague about the pen details? I even asked him for small details he wouldn't tell me. I didn't like the interaction, so I went away. I'm sure other opportunities will come. Yeah. Yeah. So you prefer to ask as little as possible. The less they know and the less they think I know, the better the deal. Yeah. I'm kind of the same way. I assume, unless I'm at a show, and even sometimes at the show, I assume that the person selling me the pen knows less than I do. So asking them questions is really a fruitless task because they just don't know. So I used to see these responses on some of the forums on how you buy vintage pens. Oh, well, ask them about this, that, and that. No, they don't know. They don't know. And if it becomes a hassle, ask them for pictures of the feed and the picture. If it's a hassle, nobody wants the transaction. that's where you rely on yourself to be the expert and to know what the points are for the pen. Like if I'm buying a touchdown or a snorkel, forget the pencil that I screwed up last week. I always check for cracks around the clip. I look for cracks in the blind cap, in the barrel, at the end. Because if I see those, I know they're not gonna. Those are the places to look. For problems. Your best advice with vintage pens is to buy them at a price where you assume something is wrong with them. So if something is wrong, then you are prepared. If it ends up being perfect, you're lucky. Yeah. Check them yourself. Absolutely. You get to know where to look for different pen brands and models. Correct. Yep. And so you buy what's comfortable. So let's say, and I don't know what's available in Belgium. But let's just say, for example, around here, since I live in Wisconsin, can some pens be unrepairable? Absolutely. Yeah. You buy a piece of junk. That's maybe a rare color. But the barrel's cracked and you can't get a new barrel, and the barrel is required to, or economically not repairable. I had somebody today, I kid you not. That's nice. Somebody today emailed me. They had an Esterbrook J that they wanted me to repair. It only needs, are you ready for this? It needs a resac, of course. It needs a section. And it needs both jewels replaced. Presumably, he has a nib. I don't know the status of the J bar. I said, well, you're looking at, and then I remember the sage words of my good friend Joel Hamilton. Don't ever, if you don't want to do the repair, don't ever price it out at a price where someone's going to say, yeah, sure. Because somebody will take you up on the offer, and then you're going to be, like I quoted $75 each for the jewels because I gotta source the jewels. And if it's a full size J, I got a cap jewel. I got less than maybe 10, or I have to scrap a good cap to get that jewel. Then you got to get it into the pen. You got to get the old jewel out and put the new one in the pen and hope the clip doesn't get loose. We're assuming the clip is tight. It's a big assumption. If that's what they're telling you, what aren't they telling you? Yeah. So I quoted the guy. What did I quote him? 150, 190, $230. The parts he's looking for are not parts. Number one, they're not parts that I want to sell because I want them for myself. But they're not entirely easy to come across. Yeah, look for shrinkage, cracks, serious corrosion, degraded, fluorescing, disintegrating celluloid. It's a massive problem. Yeah, especially with celluloid. Look in the caps, barrel ends. Most common on walls. Also starting to appear on Esterbrook dollar pens. It didn't happen 20 years ago. Now you're seeing it a lot. $1.50 pens from Esterbrook. I hate to say it, but there's going to come a day where they're just almost none that don't have some kind of crack or damage in them. you know. Yeah, and so here's the thing, Spicy. Here's the thing that you have to understand, and I want you to listen very carefully. And some people can't accept this. And if you want to get into vintage, you have to be able to accept the fact you are going to make mistakes. Let me say that again. You want to get into vintage, you are going to have to accept the fact that you are going to make mistakes. You are going to buy pens, and they're going to be expensive. That's correct. Expensive mistakes. They don't always have to be expensive. I still make mistakes. I still buy stuff and then look at myself and go, well, what the hell did I just do? You're going to buy stuff because the next step after buying vintage is restoring vintage. And then, somewhere in there, you buy something that's okay and you break it. That's an expensive mistake. That can't be, then you can't find the part. But you're going to buy something and you're going to think it's a good deal. This pen here has probably cost me more money than I'm probably going to reasonably make out of it. I paid probably too much for it to begin with, but I just couldn't let it sit. Yeah, Gary, yeah, good time to arrive. You got a box of mistakes. Yeah. And so here's how I see that. That is school. It is learning. It is rent. And how else are you going to learn? If you never break something, how do you know how far to go before it breaks? Or how careful to be? Now, I don't want you to purposely manhandle stuff. But you're going to buy stuff and you're going to get home. I mean, I do it all the time. Every show. Honest to goodness. Every pen show. I've gone to 126 pen shows. 126. Everyone who has a broken pen, raise their hand. Yeah. I'm Brian. I broke a pen. 126 pen shows. I still buy stuff. I get home, I look at it, and I go, I didn't see this. Bought a Conklin Crescent in Baltimore. Great looking pen. Got it home. And I looked at this pen. Got it home. There's a crack in the cap. Bought a pencil in Chicago. Got it home. Clips basically destroyed. How I didn't see that, I don't know. Thanks for the tips. At the end of the day, making mistakes still teaches you stuff on what to better not to do. Yeah. Just don't take your €300 and buy like the first pen you see. Start small until you really know. Because you have to know whether or not that pen is worth €300 or not. Yeah, the other side, you'll find something that looks okay and it turns out to be something really special. Anybody who's bought a $14 dual fold Lapis Junior, raise their hand. $8 dual fold Senior, raise your hand. Sometimes you're so keen to get the pen, you don't pick up on the issue. That's a very good point, Gary. You really want it. You want it bad. Oh, that's cool. I've always wanted a dual fold Senior. Surely this, or the other side is you see the problem. Oh, but surely you can find the part for that. Surely that's fixable. That'll be easy. No, not always. It's a case. It's like, it's first year. It's got the short section. It's got, this, that, or the other thing. If you see super cheap vintage, you always eat the cost and see how it goes. A few euros can't be the end of the world. Yeah. When the dealer tells you the part is easy to find, be afraid. Right. Yeah. Unless they really know what they're talking about. Although, I had, 4 people in Chicago tell me, oh yeah, the desk pens for that desk set are super easy to find. And David's been telling me for 9 months. It's 9 months, 6 months. Yeah, right. Champions been telling for 6 months. You can't find that pen. And what makes me mad is in Columbus, I swear, I had to go look at the pictures. I swear there were pens in that desk set in Columbus. So somebody bought the pens and didn't buy the desk set. Yeah, you collect lots and lots of parts. I mean, I've done that. I say, oh, wow, I really want that pen. That's really cool. Someone bought the pens and scrapped the nibs. Yeah. Oh, don't even start. Don't even start. I don't know, though. I don't know if they were the right pens. There was a whole lot of slop in the trumpet. They just didn't seem right. Usually are Parker and Estabrook parts easier to find? Not necessarily. I mean, it depends on what it is. You know, if it's a 51, if it's a snorkel, you know, the beautiful part about snorkels is, for the most part, most of the parts are interchangeable. All they did was mix up, you know, what kind of nib. Was it gold? Was it palladium? Was it open? Was it conical? Was it two-tone? And what kind of cap? That was it. Common pens usually mean common parts, yeah. 51s, like Aerometrics. Even Vacuumatics to some degree. There are exceptions where a certain part always goes wrong and no one has them. Yeah. Yeah, find a vermilion snorkel blind cap. Fern green. Fern green blind cap, maybe? Anyone? Or yeah, a colored snorkel section. Fern. I'm thinking of Fern's the hard green, right? Is that the one? The other rules, I guess, my other rules is along that same vein of you don't assume you're going to be able to get parts, is if it doesn't have a cap, you're never going to find a cap. You're almost never going to, if it's a snorkel or a 51, you'll find a cap. As long as you don't mind a metal cap, because you might not find the other one. But any other pen, don't assume you're going to be able to find a cap. You know, you got to have parts and parts and parts and parts. And then for whatever reason, sometimes they don't fit. You know, here's a perfect example. Estabrook sections. J series. Common pen, right? They made the pen from, I mean, essentially the sections are basically the same from 43 to 55 and beyond. Except they were hand fit. And they don't always fit. So I used to sell sections. And then people would get them and they go, well, it doesn't fit. It's too big. It's too small. It falls out. Too big. It's barrel cracked when I put it in. Oh. At least you can do something about that. You bought a Mabiton SWAT at auction recently with the busted nib, was able to get another nib within 2 days. You were the only bidder, so you got it cheap. Fluke, yeah. You know, nibs, don't assume you're going to be able to find it, unless it's an Estabrook, where you can easily, that's one thing you can definitively say is an easy find is an Estabrook nib. As long as you're not being very specific. As long as you're not saying, I need to have a 1314, a 2312, an 8440, a 2464. If you need a nib for an Esterbrook, they can be found. They're very easy. They're very cheap. But if you want the correct nib, you know, yesterday we had that Parker 24. What are the odds of me? What are the odds of me finding a number 4 size proper Lucky Curve nib? I mean, is it doable? Yeah. It's doable, but you know, I'm in the business. I have connections. I go to shows. I can look and work on eBay. But they're not cheap. Yeah, and with the price of gold now, I mean, a single gold nib, I mean, that nib alone, for that number 4 Lucky Curve, if I don't have it, and I haven't looked, but I'm pretty certain I don't have that nib, or the section, or the feed. I need all 3 pieces to complete that pen. I mean, the nib alone's going to set me back $100. Easy. Easy. If you can find it. And I don't always agree with the, well, we're just going to shove something in there. You know, you see people who shove Sheaffer nibs and Parkers and vice versa. There was a guy a number of years ago, he used to put, you know, like Parker and Sheaffer nibs in wherevers. Okay. You saw my comment on the Esterbrook demonstrator post. Did you know they existed? Yeah, they're typically British. They're typically English that made the porthole demonstrator. So that's actually a fairly interesting pen. In fact, I'm certain I've probably never seen one in made in the USA. Maybe I have. It's an unusual pen. It really probably needs to be with the collector, not somebody who wants to actually write with it. But that's my own little beef, I guess. All right. Here's the next batch of pens. These should all be really pretty easy. Give or take. Got a bunch, let's see, we've got a Montblanc, Mono Rosa. Piston, gold nib. The piston actually works, so I think we're good there. We've got an Onoto. Real inexpensive. Interesting. Is this a gold nib? Yeah, it's a gold nib. Piston filler. Friction fit cap. Kind of weird, huh? Platinum. Kind of a cheap cartridge pen. This is a Japanese Popura. It's got a funky gray, kind of a shiny plastic, and it's got an arrow squeeze filler. We've got a Waterman, Phileas. This one I can't figure out what it is. We have any Waterman experts out there? It looks like an expert, right? It's got an expert style clip. But it's a plastic barrel, and it has a plastic Phileas section. I know Phileas were all two-tone. I guess technically it's not even a culture. It's a single tone. I just don't know what the heck it is. It's cool. I guess there's a brass sleeve in there. But I've never seen an expert with a flat top. I mean, it's really a nice snap. Kind of an interesting piece. We got a 51. This is the new 51. Converter in there. Threaded for some dumb reason. We got, what is this, a 17? Yeah, 17. Looks like it's got kind of maybe a broad nib. Should be able just to maybe flush it. We'll see. We got a 45. We got a 51 arrow. Nice gold cap. Probably is going to be good to go. We got a modern wall skyline. This is a rollerball. But the refill is stuck. Oh, is it coming out? Yeah, there's... Well, this is a step in the right direction. Eversharp Pen Company. What a terrible refill this is. Oh, it's threaded. Isn't that interesting? Tell me that's going to use a... Oh, and the end of the refill is stuck in the can. Oh, man, what a disaster this is. Yeah, the end of the... So this looks like a Montblanc refill. Great, I wonder if I have any of those. What a weird refill. I didn't know they made... Or somebody tried to, like... Scratch this up. Oh, no. What a dumb place to put... I thought these were scratches on the end here. See all that writing? It looked like scratches to me, but apparently it just says Skyline. And it's got the logo. I thought somebody tried to open it up this way. Okay. We got a pencil. We got 3 Esterbrookes with wrong nibs. Well, that's got the right nib. It's a terrible nib. So this is the first batch. This is a collection I bought this week. So we're going to start with these guys. Montblanc had a nice nib. It sucks up, repels water. Piston's got good action on it. It's got pretty chintzy trim on it. But a cool looking nib. Yeah, so not trying to turn you off. Spicy. Just be aware that there are There's a lot to learn. This has got little triangulated ink windows, which is kind of fun. Well, the nib unscrews. That's kind of handy. All right. This is kind of a fun little. Oof. This needs some help. On the vintage German train, it lost out on 2 different Lamy 27s recently. It went for just a bit higher than you were willing to. They don't come up a lot, so I don't really know what value to assign. Yeah. That's the problem for some of that stuff. You know? Sometimes you just don't know. It looked to be in great condition. The petrol green was stunning. I'm going to put that one in the solution there. I'm going to dump this water out real quick. If you find a vintage you want with a good nib, but the nib is bad, you harvest the nib. And Oh, that made quick work of typo. I mean, if the nib is in decent enough condition, even with the bad body, you harvest the nib. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you buy pens for parts. You have to be willing to do that. You have to be willing to play the long game sometimes. I found a Conklin 56 at an antique mall for $50. Okay, it was $50, but when's the last time you saw one of those sitting around an antique mall? And it needs a clip. Now, the clip's not all that particularly hard to find because, they made it, they used that same clip on a large number of pens. But, you got to be able to get it open and this, that, and the other thing. Yeah, this pen doesn't feel very well. Your Burgundy Vacuumatic's missing a clip, but I have another pen with no nib, a junk filler, so I can use that for the time being until you find the Burgundy Jewel. Yeah. Paid almost nothing for the pen. I was glad to have the spare clip. Yeah. I mean, over time, some people just, they don't want to do that, right? And I get that. They don't have the time for that mess. They don't have time for acquiring all that crap. I get it. The only thing is that your cost to acquire then just becomes higher. You buy fully restored pens. There's nothing wrong with that. Because sometimes you spend $150 trying to make a pen right when you could have just bought it for $150 in the first place. You're going to assume I'm not into keyboards? Yeah, no, I'm not into keyboards. Nope. I have one Apple keyboard that I like that they don't make anymore, and that's about the extent of it. I'm a Mac guy. I mean, it's very similar, right? I just want the stuff to work, which is the same way that some people just they don't want to be hassled with trying to find parts. Well, this converter is cracked, so normally I would throw it away, but believe it or not, I save these for parts too. Mac all the way, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I used to be Windows. I was a Windows sysadmin for years. Um, Vintage Mac keyboard? No. Well, I mean, the one I like is I refuse. I like this keyboard. I like this layout. They made a corded version of this that I really liked, and it's got the number pad on the side. I don't like the small ones because I like a number pad. I like the delete button that goes forward because they don't always have that on your Mac. You've got the delete which goes backwards. And they made a corded version of this forever. And then they decided they weren't going to make a corded version and they were going to charge like $150 for this Bluetooth version, this wireless version. And for years I said I will not. I refuse. And I would buy up all the corded ones I could find until they all went to poop. You're using that exact keyboard now? I mean, I had at one point, I probably had five corded versions of that keyboard. But they all went bad. And finally, one day, I said, I'm just going to have to do it. I got to buy it. Yeah, that's why I'm not getting anything. Yeah, yuck. Okay, I'm gonna drop this in the ultrasonic. You don't do QWERTY anymore. APTV3 layout. Okay. I'm mostly a hunt and peck. There we go. This one's got that converter I hate, but it actually works pretty well for flushing quickly. Put that in there. All right, well, this one fills. All right. This one, we're going to see if we can get the hood off. Did Parker ever use glue on the converters? I've got one I just cannot get apart no matter what I try. On a standard piston converter, pick. Oh, okay. I don't know about that. I don't think so. I mean, they could have put something on there. Um, Most are pretty easy to get open, though. You never know what some repair guy did. You. Put that in the ultrasonic. Well, I got the heat gun on, and we're gonna try and see if we can get this this silly thing off. Oh my God! Look for typewriters. I don't think so. How is this pen not coming apart? When in doubt, try to twist it off, because you never know. Companies did stupid crap like that. Nope. In other news, the cat has decided it's better to not want to hide in the bedroom anymore. She's been super playful this week. Awesome. Yeah, they take a little bit to get acclimated. Am I hungry? Not particularly. Well, I think this thing is sealed shut. Oh, we made some kind of, what is that? Chicken? What kind of chicken dish? She's also discovered the 10-foot windowsill in the front of the apartment and lost the watch. Yeah, nice. Special rice. Oh, okay. I don't know. I mean, that's actually a ridiculous amount of heat that I probably should not even be heating it that high. I guess if it doesn't hurt it, it's not ridiculous amount, but um, it's probably safe to soak, but I don't want to soak it too long because some of these early plastics are just not great. Hmm. Well, that's too bad. Well, hack at it every day, I guess. It's only not even 3 o'clock. The Montblanc nib. Um, Lots of weird parts in here. Okay. Is my shop at 1901 Crooks Avenue, Kaukauna? Yes. That is the address. Is it finally salad spinner time? Did I not spin these other ones out? I did spin those out. Not quite. Not quite. We'll let those sit for a minute. Try to assemble some of this madness. $10 Parker nib. Yeah, it's 1901 Crooks Avenue, Suite B. Suite B for Brian. Got a little bit of yucky stuff in the syringe here. Are you stopping by, Gary? Gonna happen to be in the area? I know you're not. You're always welcome, though. We were talking about maybe getting a sign, but I kind of like having a little bit of anonymity. Not at this stage, but you never know. Your horse is going to have to do really, really well, right? Running Sunday at Sale, a country meet. That looks good. What does that mean? Afraid I don't know what that means. Actually, I'm going to use that converter. That'll fit this guy. Oh, the horse wins, I get a nice pen. Okay. I think I need a horse. This is working out okay for you. What I got here? That's good. Let's do the platinum. That should be easy. You would like to be a fly on the wall when they tell Lisa you're spending your DC show budget on a share of a racehorse? My DC show budget, even though it's the largest budget I've ever had for a show, would in no way get me remotely any share of any horse. I toe the line far too often, I think sometimes. I have different, well, maybe I just have visions, but I have a different vision than she does sometimes. Is this the converter that's dirty? Boy, this thing is nasty dirty. No, you don't. The bills can be costly. Yeah. We are lucky as we are ahead. One of the lucky ones. Don't mention the word vet. When I was in high school, I had a girlfriend who had a horse, so I kind of, if she wasn't doing something to the horse, for the horse, or working for the horse, she was paying for the horse, riding the horse. Paying for boarding, training. At the time, I thought being a musician was expensive, but not even remotely close. Okay. The Waterman converter. That'll do. Okay. Oh, I guess there's a converter there, isn't there? Whatever this mystery pen is, it's kind of neat. The mates and I won 14 grand in a bet during COVID, so we got the horse. We spent 8,000. I told my wife I was getting a horse. No, you don't, she said 2 weeks later. Darling, guess what? I have a horse. You're a brave man, my friend. No, you don't. Better to ask for forgiveness and permission? All right. Oh, next up, the 17. I wonder how much of that other nasty crap is in here. Oops. more of that stuff in here. Unrelated, have you thought about cardinal pen stickers? I looked at my water bottle. There's an empty spot for some advertising. Actually, we have. We just haven't gotten to the discussion phase. Oh, look at that. That's fun. It's got 2 breather holes. Yeah, I'll bring it up with Lisa. We'll see at least see what we can come up with. All right. That is clean, finally. You'd be in line for stickers too? All right. We got to come up with a good graphic, though. We used to have stickers with my cat on it. A friend of ours came to our grand opening, and she gave us a package of Anderson pen stickers with my cat Max on it. It was kind of cute. Boy, is this an oblique nib? What is it? This is a monster. No, but it needs work, is what it needs. That's better. All right. Oh, that's yeah, that's much better. Where did my towel go? you don't collect stickers, but they're a great idea. So many people collect them. You should have them. I'm going to ask a dumb question because I don't know because I don't do stickers. Did people buy them? Did they expect them to be given away? What's the... I mean, free is always better, right? Oh, I got to put the... No one argues with free, yeah. Many sell them as a few dollar add-on to orders with new ones every month, so it encourages repeat. Oh, interesting. That's got to go there first. Before I mess this up. Because getting the nib on there is pretty hard. When I come and visit, ask your local pet store about stickers. They sell an absurd quantity of them. Yeah, that would be... I mean, I want to do what's right, but I know they're not, they're not free to make. Okay. Could rotate that clockwise a little bit. It's not working. This is the dumbest cluttering ever. Just so I've said that. Okay, so it's lined up about right. You want a Cardinal driving a Corvette? All right. Oh, no, that's different. How far should that be out? I wonder. I'll have to look. That looks okay. Cardinal driving a Corvette. New ones every month, huh? I think that should go in a little bit further. For someone who needs an extra buck or three to get free shipping or free with the purchase of vintage pen, yeah, that's a cool idea. What you're telling me is I need something else to keep my daughter busy. She came in today for a second photography day during the week. That looks pretty good. I wonder if I have another 17 around here. And she got home. She photographed this morning. She got home and she's already got some of the editing done. Oh, here's one. Have one simple sticker for free with an order, but then upgraded ones for purchase. Well, that's a good idea too. I like that. All right, so here's a 17. Yeah, I could go in just a smidge more, couldn't I? What's cooking, Vlad? I didn't see that was you. Oh, that's good right there, I think. Kind of a broad nib, so oh, this nib is just really. I want this nib to be right because it looks awesome. No pen activity till DC, but motorcycle rally in Vermont next month. Well, that sounds like fun. really, really tight. I have had such a problem today with nibs being super tight. Well, that might be it. It is a very, very weird tipping. It just ever so slightly off. Ooh, that looks good. That is much better. All right, so let's try that. I keep saying no pen activities too, and then somebody sends me a box of pens. Yeah, yeah. All right, what do we got next here? We got this 51. It's really still flushing blue. You do have a pen in order that should be coming soon. That looks better. Well, that's some blue. Hmm. My big pen activity is pen club on Sunday. I almost forgot about it. I had to send out a email this morning. So if you're in the club, pen club is on Sunday, 1 to 3. I'm gonna have to figure out what the heck I'm gonna bring. It's a Chicago Pen Show wrap up. Today is National Dance Like a Chicken Today. No, no, I didn't know that. That's a new one for me. Off the snib. Might actually be able to read it now. You need to run. All right. Bring desk sets. Oh my. Yeah, I could, couldn't I? Have a good evening, David. I like to celebrate the big holidays. So I should go to my local KFC today. All right, that looks much better. All right. Just to double check. That came off easy. Works just fine. So I see the dates for Ohio show. Do we know anything about the calendar move? Yeah, it's because the New York show decided they were going to take the same weekend. You know, not that Terry's had that same weekend for 30 years. I'm going to put a little shellac on there, I think. Yeah, it's kind of upsetting, I think. Um, it's not like Terry's an unknown entity in the industry. If Terry's going to have a show that weekend, you move your show somewhere else, some other weekend. And it's really going to make it difficult for a lot of people to get to it. Either it's too close to the holidays. It's the first weekend of November was always kind of iffy as it is as far as the weather's concerned. But now you move it a full month, and there was always a slim possibility I could take the vet. If the weather was really nice, I could take the vet and drive it out there, and then it wouldn't be a problem. At least I could have the other car. In December, there's no way. There's no way, which is an inconvenience because Lisa's going to have to take an Uber to work or have the kids pick her up or something. And you never know what the heck's going to happen in December in Ohio. I mean, it could be blizzard. It could be a very uncomfortable, 8-9 hour drive home. Yeah, now you're starting to overlap holiday parties, right? The only good thing about it is it's a different hotel, right? But we could have had a different hotel the same weekend, and I really kind of feel it was like kind of a bully move. Like, we're gonna have it this weekend. The heck with you. Um, what are you gonna do? Yeah, at least we got a better hotel. Well, I mean, we don't know it's better until we get there, right? I mean, it can't possibly be worse. Like, give me 2 bartenders that aren't also cooking the meals and playing wait staff. I'm going to see if I can heat this hood. Maybe this hood will come off. I mean, that was always ridiculous. It was a total crapshoot. And I always said, I'm not gonna have dinner at the hotel. Yeah, given the standard of the previous, almost any, and it was, and I wasn't crazy about it a couple years ago, but this last November was just awful. I decided I was going to take all my stuff up to the room right away. Of course, I had both hands full and a backpack, and I mean, I make it all, and it's all, it's like whatever it was, 5th, 7th floor, all the way to the top, all the way to the end, and the damn card doesn't work. And I got a jacket on, and I'm sweating. I think there is, yeah, there's some stuff jammed up in the feed here. I would be pretty certain that this section unscrews. Yeah, that auction last year, like outside in a tent. I mean, it was actually warmer than the hallway, but what I'm going to do, then we'll let this one soak. Clear out this water. You forgotten the last year auction? It was one of the few that I actually just gave up on. I was like, yeah, I don't need this much water. I just decided at one point there was no sense. I was not winning anything. Drama has been quick to come back. Well, they say where's the auction? Oh, it's in the tent. What? All right, we're gonna let this soak. We will see what that does. There we go. Maybe we can get a little something to free up. I can't seem to unscrew the hood on that. Oh, 347. All right, so I think that's a good stopping point. That's all done. Next week we can test these. We got the Montblanc, the Onoto, a couple of Watermans. I'll have to figure out a refill for this guy. I think that's a Montblanc refill though, so I probably got one of those laying around. We got a nice 21 pencil. Actually, it's marked 21 on the barrel, which is actually kind of cool. It's a very nice pencil. We'll get to these ester books. We'll deal with next week, but we can test these, and these should be good to go. And then we'll move on to, I've got a bunch of lever fillers from this collection. Waterman's 1940s Waterman's. What else? So there's a swan. Nice striped celluloid swan. Trying to think what else is in there that's interesting. There's a bunch of stuff. So we'll work on those next week. Tomorrow, podcast at 1:30 Central. Lots of stuff on the podcast. I got a lot of stuff in the list, so it should be interesting. And we'll go from there. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Have a great rest of your evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are in the world. Be kind, be well, and we'll catch you next time. All right. Thanks everyone. Bye now.